So today, we are jumping into the absolutely wild true story of Yurii Kamil. He was a young Ukrainian student who thought he was just signing up for a simple work trip to England. But what he actually got was this incredible, sometimes hilarious, and often grueling adventure in survival and what the English dream really looks like up close.
And you've got to remember this quote because it's the key to everything that happens next. For him, this wasn't just some summer gig. In his head, it was a one-way ticket. That single-minded goal, to stay forever, is what fuels every crazy choice and every risky move he's about to make.
All right, so how does this whole thing even kick off? Well, it starts with a pretty funny last-minute audition for this work program, where he basically has to dance a bit of Swan Lake to prove he speaks English. And somehow, it works. He gets in, says his goodbyes, and packs a, let's say, very specific bag for the journey ahead.
I mean, just look at this journey. It's pure chaos and culture shock. He goes from this emotional family send-off in Ukraine, packing, yes, 30 cans of stewed meat, to what sounds like a party bus tearing across Europe. Then he has this profound moment seeing the open sea for the first time, only to be completely crushed by the reality of London. He arrives alone, his bag handles literally break, and he's so intimidated he can only bring himself to buy a single loaf of bread. And after all that, he finally ends up at a strawberry farm in the countryside.
So, any romantic ideas he had about quaint English life? Yeah, those are about to get shattered. The reality of being a migrant farm worker was about to hit him, and it was going to hit hard.
2 pounds. That's it. That's what you got for filling one whole crate with strawberries. The day started at 5:30 a.m. every morning. For every single crate you picked, sorted, and stacked, just 2 pounds. And the work itself was just brutal. Just picture it. Crawling on your hands and knees for hours, pushing this little cart, sorting berries under the sun. But Yurii, he was driven. He actually became a top picker, which was a big deal on the farm, and he could make up to 50 pounds a day. Now, compared to what he could make back home, that was an absolute fortune. But man, he earned every single penny of it.
And this was the question on everybody's mind. It pretty much sums up the collective shock they all felt. This was that moment the dream slammed right into a brick wall of reality. Sure, the money was there, but nobody had told them it would come from this kind of relentless, back-breaking work.
But you know what happens when you're faced with that kind of hardship? It sparks creativity. You get 1,000 broke, tired, but really smart students in one place, and they don't just put up with the grind. They find ways to game the system and, have a little fun while they're at it.
So, first things first, they needed an escape plan. He and a few friends scraped together 100 quid and buy this old, beat-up red Ford Fiesta from some other workers. This car was their ticket to freedom, their piece of independence. Problem was, their first drive was almost their last. Can you imagine? They pull out onto the road, feeling like kings, and then bam! A massive truck is hurtling straight for them, horn blasting, lights flashing. It takes a friend screaming at the top of their lungs for them to realize the tiny little detail about driving on the left in the UK. They swerved at the last possible second. Talk about a terrifying but very effective driving lesson.
Okay, this next one is just pure genius. He finds a payphone that's a little bit broken and figures out this amazing trick with a plastic bag. He could jam it in the coin slot, make his call home, and then just pull his coin right back out. Free calls. But then he got a little greedy and started leaving the bag in to collect everyone else's money. It worked perfectly, right up until another student got even greedier and broke the phone for good, trying to get the cash.
But this might just be the greatest story of them all. He's at a lake and spots these huge carp swimming nearby. So he lures one close with some chips, and then just snatches it out of the water with his bare hands. He's got no bag, nothing to put it in, so he does the only thing that makes sense in that moment. He shoves the giant, flapping, slimy fish up the sleeve of his jacket, jumps on his bike, and pedals for his life, trying to act normal while the fish is going crazy inside his clothes.
All the fun with the car and the scams and the fish, I mean, it was a wild ride, but it was coming to an end. The strawberry season was winding down, and so were his 4-month contract and his visa. With less and less work, Yurii found himself at a crossroads, facing the biggest decision of his life. So here's the situation. He has about 300 pounds left. His legal right to work in the UK is about to expire. The farm is sending people home. The adventure, for all intents and purposes, looks like it's over. So, what does he do? And really, it comes down to these two choices.
On the one hand, he can just go home. It's the safe option, the legal option. He gets to go back to his family, to everything familiar. But it means that dream of staying forever is dead. On the other hand, there's London. He could go there, disappear into the city, and try to make it work as an undocumented person. It's a massive, massive risk. Totally illegal, totally uncertain, but it's the only way to keep the dream alive.
And this is that critical moment, right? It's a choice so many immigrants have to make. Do you choose the safety of what you know, or do you risk absolutely everything for the life you hope is still out there? It's a huge gamble between the life you have and the one you want. Puts things into perspective, doesn't it? What would you have done?